where Stanley Street intersects Gateway East. And according to reports, Alvarez was at a nearby restaurant and bar, so I ended up calling that that business, and the manager told me that they don't issue comments on these incidents. In another statement, officials with the city of El Paso, they confirmed that Alvarez remains employed with the city, adding that it is waiting for due process before drawing any conclusions. Now, jail records do show Alvarez was booked into the El Paso County Jail and charged with intoxication assault with the vehicle, resulting in serious bodily injuries, with a bond of $15,000. Alvarez was released the following day. Now, I ended up going down to the police station for the incident report, but we were told that due to the nature of the incident and due to the fact that he's a city employee, they will not release the police report yet. In fact, our request was sent through an opens request process, which could take up to 14 days. We ended up sharing the story, of course, over to our social media accounts, and many of you had lots of thoughts you wanted to share. We just picked out a few. So Yosi Macias said, quote, "These employees working under police, fire, EMT, nursing, they all need mental counseling. Takes a toll and addictions don't help. Hope he gets the help he needs." And Henry Aguilar said, quote, "We all make our own decisions and he made his. We are grown men and women. Sorry, not sorry." Well, meanwhile, Socorro ISD Board of Trustees unanimously voted to approve James Vasquez's contract so he can serve as superintendent. Board members spent nearly 2 hours in executive session last night discussing and finalizing the details. And as we previously told you, Vasquez was named the lone finalist for the spot back in June. Vasquez has served as the district's interim superintendent since April of last year. And over to our borderreport.com, a smuggling story with a twist. So a 74-year-old woman arrested after being caught with half a pound of cocaine in Ciudad Juarez. Well, Chihuahua State Police issued a search warrant on a home in the Infonavit Casa Grandes neighborhood in Central Juarez and made the arrest. During the search, authorities found a fanny pack with 115 doses of cocaine wrapped in plastic, a brown purse with 2 plastic bags full of cocaine, and a black purse with 3 more bags among other bags with the drugs. Investigators seized a total of 11 ounces of cocaine. Now, if convicted, she faces up to 5 years in prison. All right, let's go ahead and take a little break from all of our headlines this afternoon and take a look outside. What a difference 24 hours make. So, Robert, today, not only did it feel super hot, it was a little breezy at times. It was so weird. I got all seasons in one day.
You know, sometimes little mini cool fronts actually come in undetected by the models, and I think that's what's actually happened today.
I think I detected one.
Yeah, I detected one too, especially on the western slopes. Yes. It was a little windy, and I'm detecting. All right, and I've worn a light suit because my stress level is pretty close to 0 right now. 94 degrees at the International Airport, 2.45. Told you we would dry out today and feel a lot more comfortable. Look at these high temperatures so far. Not that bad. 88 Van Horn, 90 at the Pass, 94 at the airport, 95 Juarez, and 91 in Las Cruces. We're going to be storm-free tonight. Those few clouds that you see will disappear overnight for a beautiful, beautiful evening with fairly light winds overnight. Until then, a little gusty at times on the western slopes. Here's a quick look into tomorrow. A beautiful day. Lots of sunshine, couple of clouds, high temperature, about 98 degrees. I'm going to have your detailed 9-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much for that. Well, let's go ahead and take you outside now. I want to show you I-10 Brown. This is a live picture, and it seems to me that things are moving quite nicely in all directions. Nothing really to slow you down on this Thursday afternoon. Well, in other news, along the border, the Doña Ana County International Jetport near Santa Teresa unveiled a newly upgraded runway. New Mexico State officials unveiled a new 150-foot wide runway that can hold the weight and size of Boeing 757. With the upgrade, the jetport can now support cargo planes landing and taking off with 2 to 3 truckloads worth of industrial supplies. Previously, the airport was only able to land planes with cargo of up to 50 tons.
We need up to 757 cargo jets here. So the significance is it gives us another mode of transportation, which is air cargo, which is huge.
Now, the bipartisan infrastructure law helped pay for the $20 million runway expansion. Hundreds of employees of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, they're getting permanent notices of termination after a court ruling protected some employees from layoffs, but not all. The American Federation of Government Employees, a union representing some 2,000 CDC workers, said it knows of at least 600 workers receiving those notices. Most of the employees worked on violence prevention, equal employment opportunity, and compliance. Critics of the downsizing say Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, who heads the HHS, has been trying to undermine the work of the CDC. Well, in national news, a gap in political party voter registrations. In today's Political Minute, News Nation's chief Washington correspondent Blake Berman has more on which party is ahead.
Democrats losing voters to Republicans. I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. According to a New York Times report, in the 30 states that maintain voter records by political party, Democrats lagged behind Republicans between 2020 and 2024. During those 4 years, the GOP has added about 4.5 million more voters than Democrats. Polling indicates the Democratic brand has taken a hit. For example, a Wall Street Journal poll from last month shows the party's popularity at its lowest point in 35 years, only 33% holding a favorable view. Our partners at Decision Desk HQ say the Democratic Party is facing a problem, adding, quote, "This is month after month, year after year." The Democratic Party chair, Ken Martin, has acknowledged concerns but says the party's fighting back. Democrats are also optimistic that they can flip the House of Representatives in 2026, which would allow them to then push back on the Trump agenda. I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Well, the story of the oldest college football player in history. Coming up, our Carla Draxler spoke to his former teammate who was a junior in college during this historic line. Then, former El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke made a stop in the borderland last night. We hear your opinion in our In the Comments segment. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, putting local first.
before summer ends. Don't give up. Rise up at Western Tech, college for the real world.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, former El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke, he made a stop in the borderland last night, joined by Texas Democrats, including Representatives Veronica Escobar, Jasmine Crockett, and Joaquin Castro, all to rally a base O'Rourke says has to show up to the polls come midterms. Well, over 100 Democrat supporters turned out for the rally, with leaders speaking out against the Trump administration's policies in his first months in office, while urging voters to turn their sights to next year's midterm elections. The rally happening just hours after the Texas House of Representatives gave final approval to the redistricting bill, redrawing congressional districts. Of course, we shared this story over to our social media accounts, and many of you had lots of thoughts you wanted to share with us. We're going to begin with Vicente Anaya, who writes, "Vote, vote, vote." John C. Cooney writes, "Companies are leaving China and coming back here, and the border is finally secure. That sounds pretty good to me. What are you offering to us?" And Rita Trevino says, "Thank you for fighting for the people." Of course, here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you are following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Well, next, the reopened iFly Indoor Skydiving El Paso will be hosting an All Abilities Night today. We have those details in just a bit. This is KTSM 9+.
Call our offices for more information. I hope to see you soon.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back, everyone. All right, Robert, I have to say thank you. Thank you for this year's monsoon because it has been amazing, I think, at least in my opinion.
You're welcome. I don't want lightning out of the one
right?
fluffy cloud. Yeah. I've got even better news for you. You know how we talked about how the storms never hit the airport?
Yes.
Guess what happened last night?
How much rain did we get? Oh my gosh.
Take a look.
Nice. Finally.
Finally.
It's about time.
It does work. I was going to go over there and take a dust buster to it. Suck the dust out. I'm kidding. No, that's perfectly maintained. Just the random nature of the monsoon. 0.38 inches in that rain gauge. Total for the year, 3.32 inches. Now, according to what will be the official record, we're still way behind normal. A drought year, if you will. But we all know this monsoon was anything but a drought. We've had quite a bit of rainfall. We'll see if we can't catch it up with more thunder showers that hit us on Tuesday of next week. Here are the high temperatures so far today. 91 Las Cruces, 95 Juarez, 94 Deming, 91 Alamogordo, 79 in Ruidoso so far today. Satellite radar composite. It's as though nature clicked a switch. No storm chances, no rain chances, barely any clouds out there. Now it is a little breezy over on the western slopes. We've got winds coming in from the east at about 10 to up to 20 miles per hour, which is translating into a little bit of a wind over here on this side of town. Right now we've got 91 degrees in Las Cruces, a lot of sunshine, 8-mile-per-hour breeze, dew point at 45. That's 20% relative humidity right now. Now the winds are, well, they're all over the board. On the west side, we've got them coming in southwest at about 8 miles per hour. And then, of course, out here, variable in direction. But overall tonight, expected to be pretty light winds. Here's your exclusive 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies, much like today. High temperature goes up a little bit to 97 degrees. Enjoy the sun, enjoy the breezes from the southeast, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Here's your allergy forecast. That's very steady in the high range at 9 next 3 days. Low temperatures tonight. We're going to 65 Alamogordo, 66 Deming, 73 for Juarez. And you have to admit, with a clear night when it's fairly dry, I'm not quite feeling the tingly fingers of fall, but definitely you can notice a beat change in the weather. 94 Alamogordo tomorrow, 96 for Deming, 98 for Juarez, and 95 for Van Horn. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, couple of clouds early, a little breezy at times, 67 your low temperature. And then tomorrow you'll climb to about 94 in the afternoon with a couple of clouds. Expect the winds to be light. 72 our low temperature tonight at the International Airport. Couple of clouds early, but then that will be perfectly clear overnight. A few more clouds tomorrow afternoon and a high of 97 degrees. Now only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Saturday, a couple of clouds at 97, 96, a little breezy and sunny on Sunday. Monday will be the transitional day with partly cloudy skies. We could even see some distant lightning that day. The day that troubles me, that's right here. Now it's moved up to Tuesday with the threat of heavy rain, 93 the high temperature, potentially strong storms. Expect scattered thunder showers that will keep us at 89 for Wednesday. 90 on Thursday with isolated storms, and then Friday and Saturday looking pretty quiet. Don't go anywhere. More KTSM 9 News coming up in just a moment.
easy.
I'm Isela Casas. You're watching KTSM 9 News, putting local first.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, there's a new movie hitting theaters very soon, and it's set just 3 hours from El Paso in Alpine, Texas. It tells the story of the oldest college football player in history, and our very own Carla Draxler spoke to his former teammate, who was a junior at the time in college during the historic lineup, and was also featured in the film. Check it out.
It's never too late to finish what you started. That's the message from the story coming out of Sul Ross State University in Alpine, Texas, but also tying back to America's high school right here in El Paso. Fernando Acosta, currently athletic trainer at America's, was an outside linebacker for Sul Ross, and in 2007, the captain of a historic team with the oldest player in college football history, 59-year-old Mike Flint. Well, years later, Flint wrote a book about his story, and now this story has been turned into a film waiting to hit the big screens.
I wish I could go back and do it all over again. I'm eligible.
Eligible for what?
To play?
Acosta's character is also featured in the film. He recalled his initial reaction when he first heard Flint was on his team.
Didn't know what to expect, didn't know what to say. Everybody was a little bit of confused. What was going on? You know, first hearing about it and then first seeing him, it was a different story. Just the way he was when you first meet him, you know, stocked up and, you know, was able to run, able to hit. It was respect, big time respect after seeing that.
Acosta shared he loved seeing himself portrayed on the big screen by actor Chris Becerra, while Flint is played by Hollywood vet Michael Chiklis. The senior comes out in theaters on September 19th. In studio, I'm Carla Draxler. Back to you.
Well, I can't wait to watch that movie. And in other news, the reopened iFly Indoor Skydiving El Paso will be hosting an all abilities night today. In fact, the event starts at 5 p.m., which is about 30 minutes or so from now, and it ends at 7:30 tonight. The goal is to give everyone, regardless of ability, the opportunity to experience the thrill of indoor skydiving in a safe and supportive environment. Each ticket will include 2 flights and proper accommodations. For ticket information, just make sure you visit our website, ktsm.com. All right, well, don't go anywhere. We still have another half hour of news and weather right after this break.
Wainwright Injury Lawyers.
You need real money. Get Wainwright Injury Lawyers.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, good moral character has long been a requirement for U.S. citizenship, right? But under the Trump administration, immigration officers are now being told to dig a little deeper, looking more at this as candidates' positive contribution to society. Our Brooke Schaefer joins us now with more on the new screening.
Immigrants looking to gain U.S. citizenship will now need to prove they are not anti-American. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced Tuesday anyone looking for immigration benefits like green cards will now be screened for anti-American activity, like whether they've supported terrorist or anti-Semitic ideologies. A spokesperson for the agency said America's benefits should not be given to those who despise the country. Immigration benefits, including to live and work in the U.S., remain a privilege, not a right. The Trump administration also announced recently it will be looking deeper at immigrants' moral character when considering potential citizenship. That means immigrants will now have to prove not only that they haven't committed a serious crime, but that they have good morals and can positively contribute to the U.S. Immigration attorneys and critics call the changes vague.
People are going to get different decisions depending upon who the officer is reviewing their case or who the supervisor is over the field office. And it means that applicants going in won't know if they've provided enough evidence to qualify or not. Unfortunately, there is no objective criteria shared with us about what could make someone eligible for good moral character under this memo. It's going to be subjective by the officer.
Immigration agents will look at things like employment history, family responsibilities, and paying taxes. Those are considered positive contributions. Some advocates say this means people are going to have to do a lot more work to meet immigration standards. Brooke Schaefer, News Nation.
Well, property tax rates are shifting across El Paso, with the city, county, and El Paso ISD all approving new rates this week. Many homeowners will still see bigger bills this fall when you get your property tax bill. Remember, that number won't just come from one place. It actually combines the city, the county, your school district, and other entities like the hospital and community college. And even if a tax rate does drop, if your home's value goes up, well, so does your bill. That's why property taxes are still climbing this year. El Paso County Judge Ricardo Samaniego says he understands homeowners are upset about the tax hike, but he wishes that he could put more pressure on them to create revenue.
If you're not creating infrastructure and making it attractive for business, they're not going to come in. Right now, 70% of the burden is on the taxpayer and 30% on the commercial side. Which is very different. San Antonio and all the other communities, it's 70% of the burden is on the retail side, on the commercial side. And so we need that. So it's not as easy as saying we're just going to cut back. You cut back and now you don't have the infrastructure, you don't have the economic development money that you need. You don't have a lot of things that you need to spend to invest to attract companies to come here.
Now, to see the full interview, just simply go to KTSM.com.
Since Donald Trump has been sworn in to the highest position of public trust in this land, he has defied the co-equal federal courts. He's dismantled congressionally chartered and mandated agencies and departments. He has colluded with corrupt public officials.
Now, in case you missed it, former El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke made a stop in the borderland last night. He was joined by Texas Democrats, including Representatives Veronica Escobar, Jasmine Crockett, and Joaquin Castro, to rally a base O'Rourke says has to show up to the polls come midterms. And over 100 Democrat supporters turned out for the rally, with many leaders speaking out against the Trump administration's policies in his first month in office, while urging voters to turn their sights to next year's midterm elections. And last night, the Texas House of Representatives gave final approval of the redistricting bill to redraw congressional districts. Democrats spoke out about the redistricting battle, adding that it is a power grab move by Republicans so that they don't lose a majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. O'Rourke says that this is just the start of a months-long battle.
The balance of power in the United States House of Representatives and the future of this country is going to be decided over the next 15 months. If we can win a majority, and we don't have to pick up many seats, then there will be a check on Trump's lawlessness. There'll be accountability for his crimes and corruption. In order to win that power, we've got to pick up districts like District 23, which is in San Antonio and El Paso.
So O'Rourke is also celebrating a recent win in his legal battle with Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, just hours after an El Paso judge temporarily blocked Paxton from prosecuting O'Rourke's political organization called Powered by the People. Last night's rally was just O'Rourke's latest stop, as he's been traveling across Texas and the country, hosting these rallies, calling on people to vote. Coming up in just a bit, we're going to have a lot more on our website. That's KTSM.com. Well, over to our DC newsroom. The redistricting battle is heating up as Texas advances its maps, and now California is trying to do the same. Golden State Democrats are pushing forward a plan to approve new districts that would counteract the Republican seats Texas hopes to gain in the midterms. Washington correspondent Maddie Beer-Temple reports on the debate over redistricting.
California Democrats say they're fighting fire with fire by drawing new districts aimed at electing 5 more Democrats to Congress in response to Texas Republicans drawing districts aimed at electing 5 more Republicans.
The bottom line is California is reacting. We didn't look for this fight. This fight came to us.
California Democratic Congressman Lou Correa supports his state's plan. It would ultimately have to go to the voters in a special election this November, asking them to override the state's independent redistricting commission that voters previously put in place.
We're doing it in a responsible manner. We are going to put it out to the voters for them to approve.
The map makes a handful of California Republicans' districts bluer. Those Republicans represent 9 of 52 members of the state's delegation in Congress. Congressman Kevin Kiley represents one of those targeted districts.
They've literally made my district look like an elephant. So the trunk just kind of like extends out to collect different types of voters in a way that divides communities.
Kiley says he's confident he can still win that seat, but is opposed to California's plan and gerrymandering everywhere.
When you fight fire with fire, the whole world burns.
That's why Kiley says he's introduced legislation to require redistricting happen after the census every decade, when it typically happens, and called on House Speaker Mike Johnson to put it up for a vote.
We shouldn't be blowing up everyone's district arbitrarily in the middle of the decade.
Kiley says he expects the map to face legal challenges before anything makes it to the ballot. In Washington, I'm Maddie Beer-Temple.
Let's go ahead and switch gears and take a look at weather. So, man, every time I look at this tower cam, the sky keeps getting bluer and bluer. It's harder to pinpoint those clouds now, Robert.
But look at that tower cam, Monica. Can we bring that up for just a second? That's got the Monica Cortez sky to land ratio.
Right.
If for some reason somebody actually, aims it down a little bit at downtown, whoa, no.
I just like to see the sky.
I hear you. I love it too. I love it. It's beautiful. It's blue, and I see a cloud.
There you go.
Or 5. All right, low stress day for me in the Weather Center today. High temperatures so far, 96 Juarez, 94 El Paso, 91 Las Cruces, 94 Deming, and 89 in Silver City. And you can feel that drier air. Feels good, doesn't it? It's fun to get the rain, but it's also nice to enjoy typical desert weather too. Now, at dew point 45, that's 19% relative humidity right now. On the satellite radar composite, showers tonight, storms tonight. Oh no, barely any clouds tonight as we turn perfectly clear. Now, it has been a little breezy over on the western slopes, but winds also should be generally light this evening. Now, here's a quick look ahead. Tomorrow, 97 degrees, sunshine, couple of clouds. Almost a carbon copy day on Saturday, 1 degree cooler on Sunday, so we're in for a gorgeous weekend. But I'm concerned about one day next week where we could see heavy rain all over again. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Well, meanwhile, the Socorro ISD Board of Trustees has unanimously voted to approve James Vasquez's contract so he can now serve as superintendent. The district was in executive session to discuss the terms and conditions for nearly 2 hours last night. As KTSM reported, Vasquez was named the lone finalist for the superintendent of schools back in June. Vasquez has served as the district's interim superintendent since April of last year. And Texas lawmakers are debating how to replace the STAAR test, which, if you recall, it is the end-of-year exam Texas students take to assess their knowledge. Now, both Republicans and Democrats have agreed that the current test creates too much stress for students. But what to replace the test with is up for debate. Capitol correspondent Dylan McKim, he breaks down the education debate at Capitol Hill.
Students, teachers, and schools the way you think it does.
This is Elia Moran, a 7th grade student in Fort Worth ISD. She told a committee of lawmakers on Thursday just how stressful the STAAR test can be.
The STAAR test creates that major weight on my brain where I can't think while the teacher is giving me information. I don't sleep well and I don't eat well. Now you tell me if that seems healthy for a child's brain and body.
Texas lawmakers want to solve the issue, and here's the current plan. 3 tests spaced throughout the year in the beginning, middle, and end. The first 2 tests are adaptive, meaning the questions change depending if the question before is answered correctly or not, and the results would be available for teachers and parents 48 hours later. The end-of-year assessment would be the same for each student, but party line disagreements seem to arise out of who will make the test. The current proposal gives that job to the Texas Education Agency.
I just have no faith that our state will do a good job of it, as it has not done a good job with the creation of the STAAR test.
Democratic State Representative Gina Hinojosa would rather see students take a nationally norm reference test, which would compare student outcomes to other states. She believes students would benefit if the state did not make the test. But the bill's author, Chairman Brad Buckley, believes students should be assessed on state-approved standards.
It is important to make sure our children are achieving success on those standards.
That is known as a criterion reference test. And Mary Lynn Prunetta, the Director of Education Policy at Texas 2036, a public policy research group, argues criterion tests are actually more useful to parents.
It tells them exactly if their kid is on grade level and then anything that they're specifically struggling with.
Prunetta supports the bill because she thinks it will decrease testing anxiety by clearing up the misconception that a student needs to pass the test to move to the next grade level.
One of the things that we have to do, and that House Bill 8 does a really good job of, is correcting a lot of that misinformation.
In Austin, I'm Dylan McKim.
And the House bill was left pending in the Public Education Committee on Thursday. The Senate passed a nearly identical bill earlier this week. Well, coming up, a San Antonio man faces up to 5 years in prison after pleading guilty to a charge of threatening the life of President Trump. We took to social media and we heard from you in our comments segment. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to KTSM Plus. We'll be right back.
More today.
You're watching Sunday Night Football only on KTSM.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back, everyone. So I don't know if you guys watched yesterday. We're on this update now. I have an update. How are you doing with your coffee?
They brought a new machine in.
Yay!
We are back in business, my friends.
So if you guys didn't watch, our coffee machine went missing yesterday. I have no idea what happened to it. And poor Robert was on a caffeine
it was funny.
withdrawal.
I really was not as sharp yesterday. And it was that. I think I'm also a creature of habit and routine.
That's what it is.
And if the routine is disrupted, it throws me off a lot, you know? Yeah. I like routine.
And you're back on your routine.
Yeah,
everything is good.
And I'm just kidding. It's empty. Okay. Very different day today than yesterday. Yes. Let's step back in time to the radar composite. Yesterday at 6:25 p.m. we had a flood advisory right in the heart of town, some fast-moving thunder showers, but thankfully, oh thank you, the thunderstorms went directly over the runway and plopped that 0.38 inches of rain in our rain gauge. Of course, we know some neighborhoods have received well over 8, possibly up to 12 inches of rain this monsoon. So at the airport, it's a little stingy there. 3.32 inches for the year. We should be at 5.05. So unless we can get lucky again, get some more thunderstorms right over the airport, it will look as though 2025 was a drought year. We know differently. Here are the high temperatures so far today. 89 Van Horn, 94 for us, 96 Juarez, 91 Las Cruces, and 91 in Alamogordo. Let's compare to other towns in the southwest. Phoenix, 112 so far today, and they're not even done heating up. 103 Laredo and muggy, hot down there. 90 San Antonio, 94 Austin, 95 in Dallas today. A look at the satellite radar composite. We have a couple of isolated thunderstorms right there on the border of Arizona, but as I told you yesterday, we were going to stabilize and dry out at the mid-level of the atmosphere. We're going to stay this way with lots of sunshine, no chance of rain, even just a few clouds all the way through the weekend. Then it starts to change, especially on Tuesday, which I'll show you. 90 is the temperature in Las Cruces right now. We've got a dew point at 45. That's 21%. Relative humidity. Winds all over the board. Light and variable tonight, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. We have been a little breezy on the western slopes and will be breezy for a while tonight. All winds calming down with clear skies overnight this evening. Here comes your exclusive 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. High temperature 97 degrees, lots of sun, couple of clouds, southeast breezes, just an absolutely beautiful day. Allergy-wise, 9s on your forecast for the next 3 days. That's high range. Lows tonight, 65 Alamogordo, 66 Deming, and 73 for Juarez. High temperatures, 94 Alamogordo, 96 Deming, 98 for Juarez. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, 67 with a couple of clouds early but clear overnight tonight, and then 94 high temperature with light winds. Expect a low tonight of 72 at the International Airport, and then tomorrow 97 degrees. You have to admit the mornings are starting to indicate the approach, the beginning inclination of fall. Only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Saturday, 97, couple of clouds, hot and dry, breezy in the afternoon on a sunny Sunday, high of 96 degrees. Monday, the transitional day, partly cloudy skies, moisture charging up late, could see some distant lightning. And then I'm very concerned about Tuesday. Potentially strong thunder showers and a heavy rain threat that day that extends into Wednesday. High only 89 on Wednesday, 90 on Thursday. Isolated thunderstorms. They'll be dry out again on Friday and Saturday, sunny and 96. Monica.
Robert, I'm not liking your talk of fall yet. I'm not ready, but it's okay. Thank you so much. Right now, I do want to take you outside using our tech stock cameras, I-10 and McRae, looking really nice and smooth, not a lot to slow us down. It's a big 2 thumbs up if you're heading here in East El Paso. Well, a San Antonio man faces up to 5 years in prison after pleading guilty to a charge of threatening the life of President Trump. 52-year-old Robert Herrera allegedly made the threat last year on July 10th on the Facebook page of a news outlet reporting that Trump would visit Texas Hill Country in the wake of a deadly flooding, according to court documents. Herrera posted a photo of the July 13, 2024 assassination attempt on then candidate Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, along with the comment, "I won't miss." Herrera allegedly further posted a photo of an assault rifle and loaded magazines, threatening someone who criticized his post. The post included the phrase, "I'll just come for you." According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Texas, federal agents arrested Herrera the same day he allegedly posted the threat. Obviously, we did share this story to our social media accounts, and a lot of you had some thoughts you wanted to share. We're going to start off with Cecilia Grimes, who says there were threats on January 6th on Vice President Pence, and Trump pardoned them. Pardon this Texas man. Ponch Domino writes, that's the law, but Democrats only follow the laws when it's convenient. Angel Noe simply says, free him. And here at KTSM, of course, we do value your opinion, and we want to hear more from you. Make sure you are following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. All right, everyone, don't go anywhere. Robert and I are going to be right back after this quick.
Attorneys at Law.
My name is Oscar Mendez, and I'm a partner at Mendez Jody Law Firm. An accident with an 18-wheeler can be one of the most terrifying and devastating events a person can endure, instantly changing your health, livelihood, and future. Our law firm specializes in representing victims of trucking accidents. We are prepared to hold trucking companies accountable for the harm they've caused. These causes of the accidents are often rooted in negligence, such as driver fatigue, speeding, distracted driving, and poor maintenance, issues that lead to life-altering injuries or death. You need a legal team with the expertise and resources to fight major corporations. At Mendez Jody, we have a proven record of helping clients across the borderland get the justice and compensation they deserve. Visit mijlawfirm.com for a free consultation. Let's discuss how MIJ can help you rebuild your life. We are dedicated to fighting for the people of El Paso every day.
Legal Matters, sponsored by Mendez Jody, Attorneys at Law. Log on to ktsm.com.
Of helping KTSM and El Paso Animal Services find caring and forever homes for our local.
Last look at the forecast. High temperature tomorrow, 97 degrees. Same story on Saturday, Sunday, 96. Beautiful, dry, and sunny all the way through a gorgeous weekend. But Monday is the transitional day. We could see some distant lightning. I'm concerned now about Tuesday. We get a surge of moisture. I think the thunderstorms will be quite strong. We'll have a heavy rain threat that day that lasts into Wednesday. Look at Wednesday's high. I'm banking on heavy cloud cover that day. Then a little sunshine, isolated storms back up closer to normal on Friday and Saturday. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much, and thank you all for tuning in to KTSM 9+. That's it from me. I'm Monica Cortez. See you all tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Hair and wardrobe provided by